Hello guys, and welcome to a brand new camera comparison between the OnePlus 9 against the OnePlus 8T. Right now we are shooting at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and sadly this is the maximum resolution these phones can shoot. We have switched now to the rear cameras and currently shooting at 4K at 30 frames per second. Tell me in the comment section below which one do you think has a better stabilization and which one has a better dynamic range. Both phones do also feature ultra-wide cameras, even though they aren't as wide as most of the competition. Starting with some pictures from their front cameras, and in this very first case my face has more natural colors on the OnePlus 9. Also the dynamic range is slightly better, even though it isn't excellent. We have very similar results in this next case. On the OnePlus 9 picture my face is sharp and the colors of my skin are on point. The colors on the OnePlus 8T aren't as natural. The same story is in this scenario too. I prefer the picture of the OnePlus 9. The 8T always tends to warmer colors, but they aren't as accurate. Here I do actually prefer the 8T because my face is brighter compared to the OnePlus 9, which has more natural colors but it isn't as bright as the OnePlus 8T. Switching to the rear cameras, and in this case both pictures are very similar. The OnePlus 9 is just so ever slightly brighter, and nothing else to be worth mentioning. Both phones do also have ultra-wide cameras, and again the OnePlus 9 is brighter, but this time the difference is bigger than before. In this next case, when using their main cameras, the results are identical between both phones. Their pictures are sharp and the dynamic range is on point. With the ultra-wide cameras, the OnePlus 9 is brighter, sharper and overall better compared to the 8T, even though the difference isn't as big. In this next scene, the OnePlus 9 again is brighter compared to the 8T, even though not by much. Other than that, they are very similar in terms of sharpness and dynamic range. This is because they use the same sensor. The ultra-wide camera of the OnePlus 9 however has a new sensor and it is clearly better compared to the OnePlus 8T. In some cases like here the difference is clearly visible, but there were some cases when they both performed very similar to each other. Moving to a next scene, and here the results are almost identical. They are both very sharp and the colors are very similar. When using the ultra-wide cameras, just like before, the OnePlus 9 is brighter, sharper, and there isn't as much distortion as the OnePlus 8T. In this case I do prefer the OnePlus 9 because the colors of the bird are on point. On the 8T the feathers are kind of washed out. Both phones can also shoot macro pictures. The OnePlus 9 uses its ultra-wide camera, while the 8T has a dedicated macro sensor. As you can see, on the 8T you can zoom in much further, but the picture isn't as sharp as on the OnePlus 9. We have very similar results here too. The picture of the OnePlus 9 is very detailed and it preserved the colors of the flower, while the 8T can zoom further, but it loses sharpness and the colors are washed out. Moving to Lowlight, and in this case both pictures did produce somewhat good images. My face is bright but it is blurred in both phones. Sadly they don't have a night mode feature for their front cameras. In this next scene my face is very blurry, with the 8T also suffering from the reflections of the light. The OnePlus 9 is slightly better, but the night mode would be handy here. We have very similar results in this case. Both pictures are bright, but again my face is blurred. It is a shame that OnePlus didn't manage to put a night mode on their front cameras of their phones, especially when every other company does that. Switching to the rear cameras, and without night mode the OnePlus 9 is slightly brighter compared to its predecessor. With night mode however they are very similar. Both pictures are bright and detailed, even though the results aren't really astonishing. With the ultra-wide cameras without night mode, again the OnePlus 9 is brighter and slightly sharper compared to the 8T. With night mode enabled I do actually prefer the OnePlus 8T because the OnePlus 9 didn't manage to handle the lights as good as the 8T did. From now on every picture is taken with night mode. In this case, from what I can tell, the results are almost identical, and it seems there isn't a lot of improvement from the OnePlus 8T to the OnePlus 9. We have almost the same results when using their ultra-wide cameras, even though technically the OnePlus 9 should produce a better image. To be honest, it did in some cases, but here it is the same with the OnePlus 8T. Overall, when using their main cameras, the results were almost identical in most of the shots. The OnePlus 9 was slightly better in some cases, but even then with a small margin. Even the ultra-wide cameras did produce similar results in most of the cases, and honestly, if it was only for the camera, I wouldn't upgrade from the 8T to the 9. But here are some more shots so you can judge for yourself. So guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below which phone was the winner for you. If you did enjoy this video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thank you for watching.